Hello, I'm David Bannister. I'm the editor of Banking Technology magazine, and I'm here at Payments International on the first day in London. With me is Francisco Tur Hartmann, known as Paco, who's the Deputy Head of the Markets Integration Division at the ECB. Now, Paco, one of the things we want to talk about is the challenges that you see from where you are in the retail payments in Europe. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Good morning, David. I think that there are a lot of things still to be done. Often people is telling me after the SEPA instruments have been delivered, now you are unemployed, and it's certainly not the case. I don't think that we are unemployed. I think that the SEPA instruments have been extremely positive and good development in Europe, but now what we have to do is to make sure that innovations that are built on the top of those instruments are also efficient and are European. In this context, the European Central Bank has established the Euro Retail Payments Board, which is very instrumental to apply the policies the European Central Bank would like to take in the field of retail payments.
Tell us a bit more about the ERPB and how does it work? What are its main objectives?
The Euro Retail Payments Board was established by the Governing Council of the European Central Bank in December 2013. We are meeting, or they are meeting twice per year in Frankfurt. Is chaired by our board member in charge of payment systems, Mr. Merch, and you have representatives of both sides, the supply and the demand side. What are we doing? What is the ERPB intention? The ERPB is not regulating. The ERPB, the mandate is not to regulate, but is there to facilitate developments in the field of retail payments. It's very important that the level of participants is high enough that they can take responsibility of decisions that are taken in the Euro Retail Payments Board. And I have to say that in the last years, we have seen a lot of output coming from the Euro Retail Payments Board.
So in terms of deliverables, you've seen output, and tell us what those are and what else is coming through the pipeline.
Now, in the first deliverables were clear recommendations on the leftovers of the migration to SCT and STD. We had, I think, 27 recommendations that were made by the Euro Retail Payments Board. I have to say that was not the Euro Retail Payments Board itself. A subgroup with representatives of both sides, the supply and the demand side, were developing these recommendations to make sure that we get really to an harmonized set of retail payment instruments, the SEPA credit transfer, SEPA debit, and those recommendations were very concrete and have been followed and are followed now by the market. Also, we made some recommendations on the e-mandate, which we still see some fragmentation there, but they were concrete enough. All this information can be found, of course, in the website of the European Central Bank, where is a clear feedback of each meeting of the Euro Retail Payments Board together with the outcome of each one of those meetings.
So certainly a lot of work being done and more to do. Obviously you're working from a European perspective, but what about the global dimension? People need to pay all around the world. What's the role there?
Yeah, I think the Euro Retail Payments Board is focusing, of course, on the European landscape to make sure that we have an integrated and harmonized retail payments, and this was the main purpose of the ERPB. But what I can see that at global level, a lot of people is looking into what we are doing in Europe. I can put you an example. I was a few weeks ago at a conference organized by the Harvard University and was about retail payments. It was to discuss a paper prepared by Professor Hal Scott. And there, a professor of a university in Canada was saying, look, but there is something very important to do at global level to facilitate retail payments. And he was referring to the single euro payments area, saying maybe what we need at global level is a single global payments area, a SIGPA. And I think that this was a very important remark, because in fact we think that when you have global trade, you need to have the retail payment instruments, the payment instruments that you need for it. In this context, I have also to say that the Committee of Payment and Market Infrastructures of Basel is the Basel Committee of Central Banks around the world, has just established a working group on retail payments to see how more harmonization, more integration at global level is achieved. So it shows also that central banks around the world are very much pursuing this harmonization, integration objectives.
So a very interesting future to look forward to. Thank you very much for taking the time.
We will not be unemployed, I
It
think.
doesn't sound like it at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.